Alright, so we just got done with the Princess and the Dragon route. So I'm gonna go ahead and try to get to the new damsels route. And I want to see that new route for the damsel. And then after seeing that new route for the damsel, I'll probably will play through one of my favorite routes. And just to have something extra there to do. Because I do kind of want to see the final battle ending. Because during like the final battle ending with the shifting mound, she talks about the different bodies that you bring her, and I want to see what she has to say about them during that scene. So I'm gonna go ahead and skip to the part where we get to the new content for the damsel.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess. You make your way to the easier for whom? Easier for everyone. Look at the mess you're in.
I heard the door slam. They locked.
There's a slight panic rising in the...
If I could just get out of these chains, I know we could force our way out of here together.
She barely hesitates before
Jesus
raising
Christ,
her
I
arm to
forgot
her
that
mouth, her teeth tearing through her limb with the determination of a trapped wolf.
I forgot that she goes full fucking feral and just bites her hand off. I remember how to get through these routes because I've played through this game several times, which is why I'm trying to only show like the new content so I can have like a fresher voice to like speak my mind. But sometimes I be forgetting about some things, like how she chooses her fucking hand off.
As she rips her flesh from her bone, a sound comes from behind you. The clang of bouncing metal. It's the blade from upstairs. You're not sure how it made its way down here, but if there's a time to strike, it's now. Or we could use it to free her. You won't like what happens if you do that.
I'm saving her.
Fine. Against your better judgment, you place the blade against
Those
the ragged,
bulbous
self-inflicted wound on the princess's arm, just above the unyielding chain binding her to this place.
Not a dot behind those eyes. Not a single dot.
You cut into her flesh. The blade is sharp, and it takes little effort to crack through the bone of her arm. Her limb falls to the ground, and the heavy chains follow suit. She didn't so much as utter a sound through the whole ordeal. No, she didn't. She smiles softly as her gaze meets yours, blood from her wounded arm dripping rhythmically to the ground. How is she still smiling after everything? It's like she isn't even bothered by what just happened.
Thank you. Now let's get out of here.
Wait, this isn't fair. You can't just do that. Watch me.
What are you doing?
Warn her.
Stop that.
Something's come over you, hasn't it? You know you don't have to do this, right?
Your body lunges forward, the blade held low, ready to sink into her heart. But the princess dodges, stumbling back against the wall before the blade has a chance to connect. Stop it. Stop trying to resist me. I'm trying to get you out of here alive. The
resist.
blade. Move the blade. As your body remains frozen in stubborn resistance, the princess takes a cautious step forward.
We both know this isn't you.
She nervously reaches towards you and takes the blade from your infuriatingly rigid hands. What are you doing?
I'm not killing her.
I'm sorry. I'll try to be quick.
She plunges it into your chest,
Ow.
tearing through flesh and sinew. It is agony. But you aren't dead yet.
Oh no, I'm so sorry.
Stay strong. We can tough it out until it's done. For her sake. For her sake?
Yeah, for her sake.
Don't you start pretending that dying a painful death is some sort of heroic gesture. The two of you have literally doomed everyone. Whatever. She sinks the blade into your chest again and again and again, and you feel every inch of burning pain that slices its way into your body.
I'm sorry.
She doesn't know how to use a knife, does she? Apparently not. Though it doesn't matter how sloppy her blade work is, does it? A stab wound is still a stab wound, and it won't be long before you bleed out.
I'm so sorry.
With one last thrust of the knife, your legs give out beneath you. You collapse to the floor, your blood pooling around you, your limbs unresponsive. The princess stares down at your ruined chest as tears carve rivulets of pink down her blood-spattered cheeks. It can't just end like this, right? Oh, that's rich coming from you. As much as I'd prefer for things to have gone differently, I can't deny the reality of what's happened. The two of you made your choice. It's over. Everything goes dark, and you die.
Alright, we made it to the damsel.
A warning before you go any further. She will lie, she will cheat, and she will do everything in her power to stop you from slaying her. Don't believe a word she says. If only you knew what you did to us, you villain.
This motherfucker, the voice of the smitten.
Excuse me? Forget he said anything. But he is a villain. He made our beloved brutally take our life last time. He's trying to keep us apart, but he won't be able to withstand the power of our love. Last time? What are you talking about? I think he just likes to hear the sound of his own voice. Let's try to ignore him. I do, but I also speak from the heart. My passions are too great to be stifled. They must be expressed. Sure, yeah, your passions are strong and all, but not everyone needs to hear them. Some things are better kept quiet. Don't pay their bickering any mind. Focus on the task ahead. A soft voice carries up the stairs.
Hello? Is someone there?
Her voice. It's somehow even more beautiful than last time. I think we're in love.
Okay, buddy.
Okay, I'm with you that we should be doing whatever we can to save her, but saying we're in love is a bit much, don't you think? We don't even know the princess. We can still do right by her without all this fawning. Yes, for everyone's sake, you're not in love. Just remember that her charms are all part of the manipulation. You walk down the stairs and lock eyes with the princess. There's a heavy chain around her wrist, binding her to the far wall. My love, we're here to rescue you from your unjust and foul imprisonment. You know she can't hear you, right? She may not be able to hear my words, but surely she can hear my spirit. Oh, your spirit's plenty loud, all right.
It's you, my dashing hero. I was so worried you wouldn't come back.
Did you hear that? She said we're dashing.
Alright.
And she called us a hero. Flattery really goes a long way with the two of you, doesn't it? Waiting for you to come back. You've been here before, haven't you?
Yeah, this ain't my first rodeo.
That's right, villain. And you killed us. Well, she killed us. Only because he made us try and kill her. It was self-defense. Our beloved's hands remain unstained by cruelty. And you've died before. So an entire world has been damned to oblivion. I'd really hoped I'd be the first, but what's done is done. What matters is you have a chance to do it right this time. We damned a whole world, but everything reset. Nothing resets, you're just somewhere else. You can't keep hopping between worlds forever, especially not without leaving a trail of incomprehensible devastation behind you. This is horrible. Don't you see how dainty her hands are? We'll be able to slip her out with ease. No, she's a prisoner here. You can't just slip her hand through the chains. If her hand could just slip out of the chains, why hasn't she done it already? Because we've yet to present her with her freedom. I'm not sure I follow. Would you rather believe me, a passionate heart guided by love and my own good nature? Or would you rather believe the devil on your shoulder who tells you what you can and cannot do? I think I'd rather believe in facts. Ah, so you're one of those empiricists. One of us has to be. Then let me show you a brand new truth. Narrator, we courageously step forward and free our beloved from her bindings. No, not on my watch, villain. My passions contain titanic depths, and if you try anything that might harm our dearest, I will end our life without a second thought. You wouldn't. I would. I'd listen to him if I were you. He has a lot of strong feelings, and doesn't the world end if we don't stop her? You approach the princess and gingerly slide her hand from her bindings. That shouldn't have worked. I'll be damned. We're doomed. I can't believe it. But I guess I have to. I told you, there's no life more worth living than that of a true believer.
I'm free, and you're not trying to kill me this time. Thank you. Thank you so much.
The princess jumps up and smothers you in a joyful embrace. Ugh. If only you had a weapon, one slip of the wrist and your pristine blade would be buried in her back and everyone out there would be saved. Luckily for Mr. Romance, we don't have a weapon. Who needs a weapon when we have the power of love on our side?
What do we do now?
I know what's going to happen. I don't know if this will lead to a different ending, though, when I get there, but I still want to give my piece about what's about to transpire here. So, what do you want to do?
Let me guess. End the world? Spoken with the rank cynicism of someone who has never felt love in his heart.
I don't actually know. Nobody's ever asked me what I wanted before.
She doesn't even know what she wants. You may have had her all wrong. What if this whole thing is just a misunderstanding? What if she doesn't want to end the world? You're so gullible. Is the only thing you've ever doubted the actual truth?
I think I want to leave. And I think...
The princess closes her eyes in deep reflection. And then she shrugs.
I don't know. What do you want to do?
I want you to tell me what you
I
want.
just want to make you happy.
She can't just want to make us happy. It makes sense to me. That's all I want for her, so of course she'd want the same for us.
There must be something you want.
I just want to make you happy.
Is she broken? What's going on? What's going on is she's lying to you, only she isn't a good liar. Are you starting to trust me now?
But what would make you happy?
I just want to make you happy.
This isn't right. I don't know what's going on, but this isn't right. I fail to see the problem here. She's just sweet on us. You don't have to act like it's a big deal.
It's a huge deal. So, this option right here, I don't remember this. In the other ones, you keep on exploring, just being like, you have to know something. What do you want to do? What is your goal? And before I hit this new option right here, I think that there are people out there that's basically like this, where they never choose for themselves and their life has always been dictated by other people choosing. And if you just only have one thing that you're trying to do, trying to go for, then as you see with the princess right here, it's like that she's like destabilizing. She went from like a nicely drawn, a little bit more of like a full-on three-dimensional being, and then now she's just this flat 2D sketch. She's just a flat person. Her only goal of existing is the happiness of somebody else and not her own. And when I first saw this, I was like taken aback about like, oh my god, this is a really good representation of somebody that's just living on a 2D scale. They're just living for the sake of living, not even for themselves, just to be somebody else's thing that makes them happy. And it almost kind of feels like that whole just a regular princess trope. Like, your perfect example is like, Mario and Princess Peach, where some people will say that Princess Peach, her only existence is the fact that she gets kidnapped and she gets saved. She's just an object that moves the plot forward. And I guess you could say the same thing in a lot of other princess works as well. Now, more modern media has been pushing away to, basically make the princess something a little bit more than just like the object that pushes the story. Because let's be honest, that's kind of what princesses used to be in stories. They're just something to go, rescue, live happily ever after. Your whole cliche story. And that's why stories like Mulan, original Mulan, by the way, not the live action, fuck the live action Mulan. That what made that princess story so different is that she found her own way and carved out what she wanted to do and what she believed that was needed and expected of her. And even with the whole Princess Peach and Mario thing, Peach has been taking on more roles than just being, oh, I've been kidnapped by Bowser, time for Mario to come save me. In some of the recent games, she has even started helping Mario in just straight up battling Bowser. So I do believe that it is good that we can portray these characters a little bit more three-dimensional, give them something to do. But I also feel like there's nothing wrong in a story that doesn't have too much of a deep plot. It's just wow. And see, that's what I'm talking about right here. I just yapped about the fact that she just came 2D. That's it. And that's the beauty of this game. I get to thinking about the representation that they're doing in here, but I just continue to just think. I ask a question, I try to find an answer, but then it constantly branches.
Oh, is that really what you want? If you think that would make you happy, then...
Her eyes dart uncomfortably to the corners of the room.
I guess we could do that.
Well, at least she's normal again. Normal again? Can't you tell she's sad? She's distraught. This is unacceptable. But she can't be unhappy about staying with us. Can she? I don't know. She has a point. She doesn't know us. No. It has to be him. It has to be this place. If we just made these walls more fitting for a princess, if we just say the right things, if we just showed her the contents of our heart, she'd be happy here.
What?
As the voice thinks its thought, your hands raise, fingers pointing towards your chest, and then... What? No, you absolutely do not do that. Oh, but I do. What? What is he doing? We can't see unless you tell us. Are you sure you want to know? I suppose I can't stall forever. You plunge your nails into your chest.
What the
digging
fuck?
Deep, grasping for a handhold. And you find it. Your fingers curling around your ribs.
Oh no, what are you doing? Are you okay? You can't do that and be okay.
Time out. He should not be allowed to do that. He's not the decider. And yet, it's done, isn't it? It will be soon. You yank violently, your bones cracking with wet pops as you pull yourself apart inch by painful inch.
So I think I found the new content, because I sure don't fucking remember this. What the fuck?
Your exposed
what
heart,
the hell?
framed by jagged ribs, thumps rhythmically in your raw, bloodied chest. The loosened, threads of your body unfurling to cover the surface of the room. Don't mind my sacrifice. It's a fair price to pay to give her everything she doesn't know she wants.
See, it's that sentence right there. Give her everything she doesn't know she wants. What are you on about? What? Give her everything she doesn't know she wants. You just can't force something on somebody and expect them to be happy about it. Because so basically the overall thought of the princess is trying to leave. She doesn't want to be in the cabin and she doesn't want to die. She wants to leave. And us saying that we just stay in the cabin with her, she got sad, but she was constantly talking about how like I want to do whatever makes you happy. So I decided that we stay here. That makes me happy. But at that moment, she showed a sign of sadness, which means that she has something that she wants to do deep down, but she just feels like that she has to go with whatever we want to go with because she's just a character written just to make us happy. That's what I'm talking about.
Oh, I see. You're trying to tell me something.
Am I?
The princess, mesmerized, reaches towards your beating heart, and then everything goes dark and we die? Yes.
Happily ever after.
You're on a path in the woods. Mate, we're clearly already in the cabin. Excuse me? You're clearly... Oh. Huh. So you are. How do you know about the cabin? I didn't get to the cabin part of my opening monologue yet. We've been here before. Well, not here, but I'm sure you know what I'm talking about. You knew about the loop-in last time. Not that he was eager to divulge that. Right on cue, here's the new guy. Welcome! I can't say I'm happy to be here. This is a bad place. All stale and wrong. Can't you feel it? Okay, yes, I get it. You've been here before. That's terrible. You know that, right? Because the only reason you would have been here before is if you failed in whatever world you'd come from. Meaning you doomed an entire other reality. But I'm sure since you're so well-travelled, you know that, yes? We know that you keep telling us that, but we've never seen a world end. As far as I'm concerned, that whole conversation is just noise. And I'm stuck on a better question. Where's the other one? The other one? Yeah, a certain lovesick fool has been suspiciously quiet. One might even say, absent. Oh, you're right. It's a little quiet here, isn't it? Maybe that's one of the rules. Maybe only one bonus voice is allowed to be here at a time.
Nah.
Bonus voice? I'm just as important as you are. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. All I'm saying is that it's my third time here and it's your first. You're not unwelcome, but from my perspective, you're definitely bonus. I'm going to describe the room now.
Imagine walking into a room and then somebody just like, "Oh, you're just bonus DLC." Like we've been here before, and you're newer. You're just bonus DLC.
The interior of the cabin is vast and regal. High arched windows line the walls, their multicolored glass casting kaleidoscopic patterns across the stone floor. An iron chandelier hangs from the vaulted ceiling, its many candles lit with flickering light, vaguely illuminating the massive room. This is a house fit for royalty. Before you, there isn't a blade, is there? That's not good.
Does it matter if the blade's here? We didn't use it last time and the time before that she used it to kill us.
I see your point, but it's still an option that's been taken away from us. I don't like losing options. Yes, and it's an important one. It's your implement. You're going to need it if you want to do this right. And the fact that you're here, right now, again, means that you have not yet done this right. But it's not there, is it? We don't even get the choice. So, what are we supposed to do? I don't actually know. I'm sure it'll turn up somewhere. It has to. It's part of the whole structure of this place, I think. At the very least, it's important.
gonna approach the mirror now.
You cross the room, stopping just in front of the door to the basement. The handle is right there. Do feel free to give it a push as soon as you'd like. There is no door, there's a mirror. No, there isn't. What a strange thing to lie about. That's because I'm not lying. Look, if you need help, just raise your hand, and I'll guide it where it needs to go.
I know this whole mirror thing is like symbolism to the fact that you're whole. And during that Spectre episode where she said there was broken glass on the floor inside his brain, then you have the different voices in your head. That just shows that your psyche is basically like shattered. So again, I believe the mirror is symbolism of you, yourself as a whole. And the mirror is trying to reach out to you. But every time when you try to interact with it, since you are shattered at the moment, you cannot physically make out what you are in that mirror, and it will disappear.
You reach forward, your hand instinctively wrapping around the handle. It's gone. I don't like things disappearing on us. I don't like how fluid reality seems to be. Neither do I. And then you push the door open. Marvellous. We can proceed. It would seem that the stairs to the basement don't lead to a basement at all. Rather, they go up. They're draped in fine carpet too, one that feels pleasantly soft against your feet. If the princess lives here, slaying her would probably... no, that doesn't work here at all. This place is nice. It's fancy, even. I have to say, whatever you did in your previous lives, I deeply dislike how much it's thrown me off my rhythm.
Yeah, shit gets wacky.
Well, if all of this has thrown you off your rhythm so much, then maybe we don't have to slay the princess. No, you absolutely do. Just because she lives in a nice house doesn't mean she doesn't pose a direct threat to all of reality. It's in her very nature. Am I the only one who remembers how much she changed last time? Does she even have a nature? That is precisely why she poses a threat. I don't know, she got weird for a second, yeah, but she didn't change that. We have to move on. This is a wildly dangerous line of reasoning. No, you can't just say that and not... Her voice, gentle and warm, with an undercurrent of fatigue, rolls down the stairs.
Fatigue?
You're home. Dinner's ready.
I'm sorry, what?
As much as I desperately want to know what happened last time, we are not going to examine it. The more we think, the worse this gets. Why are you so on edge? This is much nicer than what we're used to. I'd like to have dinner. Dinner sounds nice. That is the problem. This isn't supposed to be nice, and she's supposed to be a prisoner. I need to stop talking. I need to stop talking. Just go upstairs, okay?
Bro is losing his mind.
And don't eat the food. This hall, like the one below, is grand and beautiful. Torches bathe the room in warm, comforting light, just enough to illuminate the tapestries along every wall, woven with scenes of chivalry and courtship and romance. The many cloth eyes are fixed on each other, gazes averted from the long table in the centre of the room, the princess seated at its far end. Your pristine blade glints in the weak torchlight, hanging from a golden chain around the princess's neck. So that's where it is. And the tip is already pointed right at her heart. Okay, everything is falling back into place. All you have to do is cross the room, push down a little, and the entire world is saved. That's easy. Isn't that suspiciously easy? There has to be a twist. There has to be something waiting for us. You saw what happened to her last time. She's not what she seems.
You're here. Now we can start being happy together. Why don't you sit down? Wouldn't that be nice?
As the words leave her mouth, the torches flare and a chair swings in from behind, knocking your legs out from under you. You're forcibly seated at the head of the table.
Isn't that better? It is better, right?
What is this place?
It's our happy ending, just like you asked for. It's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted.
See, it's that sentence right there. It's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted. So I feel like now it's trying to basically challenge the whole what truly is a happily ever after. Because with all your generic like princess stories, it's always like Prince Charming saves the princess, they get married and they live happily ever after. So back when I was a little bit younger, like, just a kid, I would never think about that. It was like, oh, they live happily ever after, which means that they just lived their lives and they were happy. But as you kind of grow older and you kind of start looking at the world in different lights, different perspectives, what is a happy ever after? When I think about it, it's just no more bad happens. It's just you and the person that you found. And it's just happy days all throughout. Is that really happiness? And here we go again with me asking a question, getting an answer, and then now asking more questions. How do we define happiness? If you have to know what sadness and despair is to know what happiness is, so if you're constantly happy and there's no type of struggle, no type of hardship, in my personal opinion, I feel like that's purgatory. It's just a never-ending change. And that's kind of boring. But you don't want to suffer either, right? Like, nobody wants to be like, oh, I think I'm gonna suffer today. No, everybody tries to strive to find some form of happiness, some form of ending. But when you find that and you're just in this staleness of quote unquote supposed happiness, doesn't that take the whole point out of life? So as soon as she said that, it's everything we're supposed to have ever wanted. It feels like that this is a happiness that she is forcing upon herself. She's not feeling any pain or sadness in the moment, but there's also really nothing that's stimulating her. She's just here. What are we supposed to do now?
Oh, right, dinner. I totally forgotten about it.
The flames burn bright
What the
and a
fuck?
shadow dives across the table. In its wake, it leaves a feast.
Is that shadow supposed to be the smitten voice? Is that what that's supposed to be?
Go ahead and dig in. I'm sure you're hungry.
Remember what I said. Oh, but it looks so amazing, and after everything we've been through, we could really use a break. Are you sure we need to be so concerned? I'm not sure about anything, and that's the problem. For what it's worth, I generally don't think one should trust strange food that magically appears on a table. But nothing here is exactly what I expected it to be, so make of that what you will.
Refuse her hospitality or eat. So we get another save moment. I'ma eat.
You begin to feast, and the princess follows suit, her soft smile never fading. The food is more exquisite than you ever could have imagined. You sample countless otherworldly dishes, sauces and bread and hearty stews whose tastes dance across your tongue. You tear at hunks of meat practically melting from the bone, juicy and tender and bursting with flavors you could scarcely begin to describe. Your cup fills itself again and again with a flowery nectar so sweet it tastes like glimmering jewels.
Man, now I'm hungry.
This really is perfect, isn't it? It is the best meal you've ever had. But then it's over, and you're just as hungry as when you began.
Again, that sentence right there. It's over and you're just as hungry as when you began. God, there's something I want to get into, but I fear that, like, I be having a lot of yapping rants when it comes to like philosophical stuff. I can keep going and going and going, but I don't know how it sounds from your perspective about how I explain things. I don't know if it's clear or not, but sometimes the more I keep going into it, I fear that I'm spewing words, but there's no substance to it. But I feel like there's substance to it. I'll just say it. I'll try to make it quick. Heaven. When you die in this magical heaven, no matter what religion you believe in, there's some place where you go, a place of bliss, a place of euphoria where you never know sadness, pain, loss. So, is that really heaven? Is that truly a heaven? Because I just got done describing that this place is more of a purgatory than a happy ending. So, what truly is a good heaven? A place where you don't have to worry about anything ever again and you just exist? But I'm sitting here questioning the values of heaven, but I'm also not sitting here saying that we should go to hell. A never-ending cycle of torment, pain, and misery. It's almost like that no matter what side you lean on, if you're extreme on the left side, then too much of a good thing can become stale. It can even become bad. And too much leaning on the other side is just pain, suffering, and loss. So, are we supposed to find a balance? Are we not supposed to strive to be happy? But if we don't strive to be happy and we're content with just being in this cycle of pain and torment, then what's the whole point of trying to? You see what I'm saying here? Like I'm trying to find an ending, but every time when I try to find this ending, I always find myself back full circle. I try to find reasoning behind why I think this way, but the more I try to think about it, the more my brain fights me. And then I feel like that I can see both sides being good, but both sides being bad if straying too far to that path. And then that's how I feel like that I always end down this endless spiral. And I can never truly find my answer. I always feel like that I'm destined to ask questions and to find an answer, but to always loop back around and ask the same question again.
Wasn't that perfect? We should do it again.
The shadow washes across the table, clearing and replating. The feast is once again laid before you. The food is good. Again, you tear into golden crispy flesh, dab at the slurry of aromatic sauces on your plate with thick-crusted bread, sip your goblet of sparkling gems. But you have done this already. And then it's over. And you're just as hungry as when you began.
A never-ending cycle. You found your happiness. You found your happily ever after. That's all that's left to do is to just enjoy it. There is no new struggle to try to push you to an even better tomorrow. There is no looming doom to worry about, to plan for. It's just you in the moment. But like I said, is that really happiness? It just sounds like purgatory. A prison, even, depending on how you think about it. There's just nothing left for you to do but just exist.
You're still hungry too, right? I know this wasn't as good as it was last time, but we just have to do it again. That's all. It'll be perfect if we just do it again.
So the shadow sweeps over the table, clearing the old and laying out the new. And so you do it again. The meat is fine, the bread is fine. You sample the side dishes and they're fine too. You finish your goblet, the liquid within no longer glimmering on your palate, instead leaving your mouth coated in a tacky film. You put it down and it fills again. You do not drink more. So we had a mediocre meal. It's not a big deal.
I don't think it's the fact that the meal was mediocre. The meal was probably the exact same the first time we had it. It's just the fact that we finally had that high that we wanted all along. But if you constantly stay in that high, then you get used to it. It's the same thing as you have a favorite food, but you eat it so much that you grow tired and bored of it. So you're longing for something new, but that's all you have to eat. And so you just continue eating it until it gets to the point where it slowly just becomes a bad taste in your mouth. Or you can even argue that there's something worse than having a bad taste. It's just there. It just exists. It has no taste. You're just eating it for the sake of eating it. I don't know what's worse. You have something good, but you constantly keep having that thing that's good. Then it just becomes mediocre, mid, bland. Or you have something different, but it was a bad taste. But it was something different.
That's the trap. It wasn't mediocre at first. It's trending down. We're just getting a little sick of it. So what? We just have to try something new. I'm sure we won't be stuck eating the same meal forever. Regardless of quality, it's over again, and you're just as hungry as when you began. Again.
No, something was wrong that time. But maybe I was just tasting it wrong. It looks just as good as it did the first time. It shouldn't taste like this.
Again, the shadow replaces your feast. And again you eat. The meat is greasy. The bread is tough, its crust hurting your jaw as you chew. The grey vegetables are barely worth the effort of picking through. You don't even touch the goblet, its sickly sweet aroma utterly unappealing. I'm so tired of eating. At least you still have the memory of how good it was the first time, right?
I'm so tired of this.
As the words leave her mouth, one of the torches on the wall sputters and then goes out entirely.
What just happened? Did I do something wrong?
A light went out. Maybe a coincidence, but maybe not. As if in response to the dousing of their brother, the other 3 torches blaze brighter, their flames licking at the walls. Their shadows deepen, dancing angrily across the stone.
What just happened? Did you make that torch go out?
I didn't mean to. I promise. Everything is fine. Everything is fine.
Well, we ate. What are we supposed to do now?
I don't know. Maybe we could play a game. Yeah, that's exactly what we should do.
The flames roar and the shadow comes dancing across the table. It leaves behind an intricate game, its pieces elegant and beautiful and enticing, its simple rules already apparent, even with little explanation.
We can probably work together to figure this out as we go. That sounds like a lot of fun, right?
Yet another waste of time. Why all the distractions? What are we being distracted from? That's the real game. I feel like I'm 2 steps behind. You're overthinking it, mate. I feel like this is just something to do. We might as well try to have some fun. You and the princess do indeed figure it out as you go. And what a game it is. The tension between turns, the triumphant highs of moves well placed, and the tragic lows of miscalculations and careless plays. The warmth of trust and the cool texture of deception. And then, the climax, as she places her final piece.
Oh, I think we got the rules wrong.
And so you start over. Time passes. You play the game. You win. Hey! Will you look at that?
Oh, you won. I guess we can play again.
I'm seeing the pattern. I believe that it's just the whole narration of stagnation, maybe. You do something and you get a kick out of it. You're having fun, but you constantly want to chase that fun again, over and over again. But as it becomes more familiar and you know how it goes, then there's really nothing to gain from it.
Time passes. You play the game. She wins.
Oh, I won. I guess we can play again.
There is a long pause, and the board does not reset.
This isn't fun anymore, is it?
No.
It's never going to stay fun. You don't need me to tell you that it isn't. Oh. The princess visibly panics as another torch sputters.
Wait. Maybe this is just too easy. Maybe if we added more rules and pieces, it would be fun again.
Yeah. The game's just a little simple. We can make it fun again. The shadow descends on the board once again. More pieces are added, their shapes more intricate, their purposes less immediately clear, and the two of you set about discovering the complexities of the game anew. And so you do. And it is fun again. In fact, it's almost as fun as the first time you played, and the sputtering torch roars back to life. But then you get used to the additions, and the feeling starts to fade. A creeping numbness settling in over the board. More pieces are added. The feelings flare. The feelings fade. The princess suggests new rules. A glimmer of what could have been excitement flits through your mind, quickly vanishing as the game progresses. Your pieces advance in an ever-increasing slog to their destination. Winning and losing become nothing but ends, and even the end becomes nothing as you roll over into a new game, the board resetting as many times as you can finish. Until finally...
I'm out of ideas. I'm actually out of ideas this time. I don't think I can play anymore.
As the words leave the princess's mouth, another torch goes out. Again, the remaining flames burn brighter, and the shadow dances faster.
I'm happy, I promise. We're both so happy here. You don't have to be upset.
This is... awful. It's him, isn't it? He's making all of this happen. He's the one who trapped us here. Who? The lovesick one, the one from last time. He's not gone. He's just with her now. He's the shadow.
Should I try to talk to the shadow? Yeah.
Smitten?
The torches flare and the shadow grows for a moment, but you don't receive a response. No, I saw him smile. That's him. Regardless, it would seem that he, if there is a he, isn't something you can talk to.
Oh, you're talking to the shadow, aren't you?
She guessed that right away. She knows what's going on here. I knew it.
He's the voice that whispers sweet nothings in my ear. I think he made this place for us.
Sweet nothings.
I was right, wasn't I? I can't believe I was actually right. It is him. This is what he became after ripping us open.
Are you actually happy
The
here?
princess starts to hyperventilate, her quick breaths punctuating the uncomfortable silence between you.
Yes! Why wouldn't I be? Let's not talk about it.
We eatin', we play games. Now what?
I don't know. But we can't do those other things anymore, can we? Maybe we can just spend time together?
Princess smiles as the two of you wait. Come on, there has to be a way out of this. This can't be the rest of our lives. This can't be forever. And wait, we live in a changing world. We know that. Something has to happen. And wait, you keep saying that, but we can't wait forever. There is no waiting forever. And wait.
I can't do this anymore.
Oh. No. Oh no. The third torch sputters out. The princess's shadow dances furiously against the far wall.
There's just one left. What's going to happen when it goes out?
What do you think will happen?
I'm too scared to say. What if my answer is what blows it out?
If you could do anything in the world, what would it be? What would you choose? I like that one.
I think I'd like to dance under the stars.
That sounds lovely.
But there aren't any stars here. I'd have to leave.
As she says that, the shadow rushes forward and tightens its grip on her wrists.
I'm not happy here. I don't think I ever was.
The princess sobs, burying her face in her hands as the final torch blows out.
I feel empty.
She raises her head, mascara trailing down her cheeks.
Me too. It feels like an important part of me is gone, but I'm still here. I don't know what to do with that. I don't know how we're supposed to pick up the pieces.
The princess's eyes dart to the floor.
Well, we can't sit here forever. That part of us is over.
The princess pushes herself from her chair, and you instinctively do the same, waiting by the top of the stairs as she quietly crosses the room.
Do you still care about me?
I know that this is more of like a romantic, do you still care? But it's hard to not care about somebody that's kind of, you could tell that they're in stagnant water, but they want to move. But the fear of traversing to an unknown place is keeping them there. So I honestly believe that I will answer, of course I do.
Oh, I wasn't expecting you to say that. I still care about you, too, so maybe this wasn't all bad. But I don't think this place is for us anymore. I think we need to go.
As the princess steps towards the stairs, you offer her your hand. The corners of her mouth curl into a demure smile, and she gently takes your hand in hers. She's cold, a little clammy, but her skin against yours is the most real thing you have ever felt.
I'm not gonna lie to you, when he said demure smile, the internet has broken my fucking mind. I heard demure and I like almost shriveled up in my chair. That word has ruined me. The internet has ruined that word for me.
You're offering surprisingly little resistance. If we leave the cabin, doesn't that end the world?
It does, if he's telling the truth.
Yes, well, I've seen my fairy tale ending, and I think there might be worse things than the end of the world.
Really was just all meaningless blather then, wasn't it?
Think what you will. I'm done fighting. You and the princess don't exchange words as you descend the stairs to the cabin's entrance. And then the two of you step out into the world. I think this is the end of me, even if it's not the end of you. I hope this was worth it. Genuinely, I do. He's really gone, isn't he?
Yeah. There's an itching in the back of my head that feels like it's finally been scratched. No more shadowy figures yanking at our strings. No more strings. I guess we're free.
The stars are so beautiful.
A quiet moment passes over you, a comfortable quiet.
I meant it when I said I wanted to dance.
She gently pulls you forward, and the two of you fall into graceful step. The only rhythm that guides you is the sharp thumping of your hearts, beating in perfect unison. Her face, worn and tired, brightens the faster you move, a soft, sad smile widening and widening until it reflects only genuine affection. You send her out in a wide spin and your arms stretched to their limits, only the tense grasp of your hand and hers holding you together. You share a gaze that feels like it lasts forever.
Thank you for taking me here. This is nice, even if it's a little cold outside.
That one was wild as fuck. Oh, holy shit. You've withered. What do you think of this vessel?
This one is a songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. She will make for an honest heart.
A songbird in a cage of gilded shadows. So something longing to be free, but is being held in a cage. It almost kind of feels like all that glitters isn't gold type feeling, where yeah, you are inside this nice looking place, all this beautiful decor, everything that you can ever want and long for. But at the end of the day, that's all it is. It's still a cage.
Do not mourn her. She has finally learned to sing for herself.
Sing for herself. Basically, learn to be what she wants to be on her own fruition without having something else or somebody else to basically guide her hand on it. This one was good. God, I love this one. I'm ready to go back.
I will be here when it is time for us to meet again.
Everything goes dark, and you die.
You're on a path in the woods, and at the end of that path is a cabin. And in the basement of that cabin is a princess.